Angel Reese, she might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey, are you trying to pretend like you hurt because Caitlin Clark really is hurt? Wait. What's going on? What's going on, man?
Angel Reese might be ducking more than a back injury excuse. She could be dodging accountability itself. 3 games in 3 weeks, each ending in blowout fashion, and the Chicago Sky have looked more like a rec league squad than a professional franchise. Since June, they've been spiraling with no real answers, no adjustments, no urgency. And yet, every time fans ask what's happening, the Sky repeat the same vague phrase, day to day. No medical updates, no official reports, nothing resembling transparency. Just silence, frustration, and a growing cloud of suspicion that the so-called injury is more of a smokescreen than a setback.
I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break. And there's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day to day. And every week there's no update on what she's struggling with, what she's doing. There's nothing. There's no information about Angel Reese. I think she's quit on this season.
Now fans aren't buying it. They're starting to whisper, no, shout, that Angel Reese might have flat out quit. And the doubts keep multiplying. If she's truly hurt, why is she skipping games but showing up online to market her new sneakers? How do you prioritize shoe launches and Instagram promotions over your own teammates, your city, and the loyal fans who've been begging for even a single reason to believe this season isn't already dead in the water? For someone who wants to be the face of the league, disappearing when your team needs you most isn't a great look. Let us know down in the comments below if you think Reese is really hurt and out for the season. Let's go!
The second missing component in the WNBA right now is Angel Reese and her dozens of aliases. Has anyone seen Bayou Barbie lately? Where in the hell is Double Double Barbie? Where is the Me-Bound Clown? It has been weeks since I have heard anything about Angel Reese. She's becoming known as the Vanishing Barbie because no one can find her.
The entire situation screams inconsistency. Normally, when a pro athlete gets injured, the team goes public with the exact issue. You'll hear specific terms: ankle sprain, hamstring pull, concussion protocol. There's usually a timetable for recovery. A week, 2 weeks, maybe out until postseason. But with Angel Reese, nothing but the same 2 words over and over, day to day. No breakdown, no clarity, not even a hint at what the supposed injury is. After almost a month of this song and dance, it's no wonder fans are openly questioning if she's even hurt at all, or if the Sky are just running interference to protect her image.
Supposedly, Angel Reese has been dealing with a back injury. That is the official reason for her mysterious absence. But there has been rampant speculation that this back injury isn't as serious as Angel Reese claims. And some believe that Angel Reese has quit on her team and quit on the season.
Compare this to the Indiana Fever, where professionalism is the norm. If Caitlin Clark tweaks her knee or bangs her elbow, the team immediately tells the fans what's up, what body part, how severe it looks, and when she might return. That's transparency. That's respect for the fan base. You don't leave your supporters in the dark because transparency builds trust. And trust is exactly what the Sky are losing by shrouding Reese's absence in mystery.
Hey, look, bro, you gotta remember, she quit in Unrivaled. She just stopped playing in Unrivaled. Said she was hurt, didn't show up for the championship game, didn't even show up and watch. Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up, didn't finish playing in none of the games. Now, this year, she's saying this season, it's her back. It looked like she's not finishing playing in none of the games. The Sky needs you. The Chicago Sky, you guys are the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league. They need Angel Reese to play in games. Angel, where you at? Where are you at, Angel? This is nuts.
Instead of calming fans, Chicago's secrecy has only created chaos. Every week of silence makes the situation look worse. And when you check the hard numbers, the mystery deepens. In the last 3 weeks, Reese has played just 3 games. That's it. A day-to-day injury is supposed to mean you're right on the edge of returning, not sitting out 80% of the schedule. That looks a lot more like indefinitely out, no matter how the Sky try to spin it. And when a franchise doesn't tell the truth, fans start filling in the blanks themselves, with theories way harsher than the reality might have been.
In the last 4 weeks, Angel Reese has played 3 games. I'm no expert in math, but that appears to be less than 1 game a week. Unsurprisingly, all 3 games Angel Reese played in, the Chicago Bravado lost by an average of 18 points. Translation, they got their ass kicked.
That's when things get sticky. Some fans suspect this isn't just about basketball. Maybe the Sky are covering for her. Maybe Reese doesn't want the real reason to come out. The head coach hasn't helped either, trotting out the same day-to-day line in every press conference like a broken record. Even ESPN has already suggested she's probably done for the season. And when that narrative, done for the year, is placed side by side with the team's official day-to-day stance, it doesn't just look sloppy. It looks like the Sky and Reese are trying to play games with their own supporters.
Angel Reese declined to travel to Indianapolis, and her coach came out and said something about, she's just focused on her rehab right now, and, she's day to day. We've never had an explanation on what caused the back injury, what's a time frame for her recovery. It's similar to so-and-so's back injury. This is something she struggled with here or there. All we've heard is day to day, and Angel Reese has disappeared.
So here's the question every fan is asking. Is Angel Reese battling a serious injury, or is she just strategically unavailable? Because day to day is sounding less like a medical update and more like a polite way of saying don't expect her anytime soon. And the longer this drags out, the uglier it looks. Timing matters in sports, and right now, the timing makes it look like she's ducking responsibility.
Everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering what is really going on with Angel Reese. Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you have to have some level of self-awareness here.
Think about it. Reese plays 3 games, all losses by an average of 18 points. Then suddenly, poof, she's gone. That's what people can't stop pointing out. If you're going to miss time, it usually happens after a big performance or after a freak accident. But when you're on the floor and your team is still getting torched every night, disappearing afterward just feels like an escape hatch.
She identified once they lost Vandersloot, their point guard, early in the year, and once they started getting their brains beat in, hey, we're not gonna win anything this year. I'm not putting these L's on my resume. I'm going to have an excuse for the Chicago Sky potentially coming in with the worst or second worst record in the WNBA. These losses will not be on my resume.
The truth is, the Chicago Sky are sitting at a miserable 8-24 record, and they were mathematically eliminated from playoff contention back in June. Brutal doesn't even begin to describe it. And for Reese, stepping away right now doesn't look like leadership. It looks like she's protecting her own brand instead of battling through the storm with her teammates.
I think Angel Reese has quit on the season. The Bravado are 8-24. They were essentially eliminated from the playoffs back in June. I'm sure Angel Reese believes that there's no reason for her to play, but I think it could be a bit deeper than that too.
You can't ignore the optics. The Sky are sinking, the season's already over, and the losses pile higher every week. Each game Reese misses makes it easier to believe she doesn't want to be associated with the collapse. Fans are even saying she's avoiding being remembered as part of one of the worst teams in the league. So instead, Reese sits, slaps on the day-to-day label, and makes sure her name isn't attached to those ugly box scores. But here's where that theory cracks. When she did play, nothing changed. The team still got blown out, still looked lost, still stumbled to the final buzzer. If she truly wanted to prove her value, staying on the floor during the collapse was her chance to rise above the mess. Instead, her absence has only strengthened her critics' argument that she didn't want any part of the wreckage, that she'd rather protect her image off the court than fight for her team on it.
I'm wondering if Angel Reese is in no rush to return because she doesn't want to be blamed for declining mainstream interest in the WNBA. We've been talking about this the past couple of weeks. What are the biggest storylines right now in the WNBA? Outside of AA batteries flying on the court, gift wrapped in plastic wiener, what is there to talk about? Since Caitlin Clark has been injured, which has damn near been the entire season, but mainly since the All-Star break, there has been minimal mainstream interest in pretend basketball.
From another angle, maybe Angel Reese doesn't even want to play right now because the WNBA itself has been sputtering. Ratings are slipping, the buzz that felt unstoppable a few weeks ago has already cooled, and the league's momentum has stalled. Stepping away allows Reese to avoid shouldering any of that blame. By staying on the sideline, the narrative isn't tied to her missed shots or empty box scores. It stays centered on her brand moves, her sneaker launch, and her off-court headlines. For someone carefully crafting an image, that's a convenient escape hatch.
Last weekend, the Indiana Felines played the Chicago Bravado in prime time on ABC. They drew 1.3 million viewers. It was the least watched game between these two teams since Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese entered the league. Guess who would have been blamed for these ratings if she was playing last weekend? Angel Reese. Guess who would be blamed for the declining mainstream interest the last few weeks if she was on the court? Angel Reese.
Look at her actions. While sidelined, Reese still made the trip to Indiana. Not to suit up for her team, not to go head-to-head with Caitlin Clark, but to push her Reebok sneakers. She even had the audacity to drop that infamous line about taking over Caitlin Clark's trap, a marketing stunt staged right in Clark's backyard. Then, a few weeks later, she's all over social media rolling out her Reebok shoe release, hyping the September launch like it's the second coming of Jordan Brand. And her hilarious reaction, claiming her kicks will one day be like Michael Jordan's. And sure, she was smiling, shaking hands, selling shoes, and making headlines. But when it came time to suit up against the fever, she was nowhere to be found.
You don't get told no. Like, you're going to get the yeses. You're going to get more yeses than nos, and just being able to know that. So I'm excited for that. I know that's going to come soon.
That kind of decision exposes exactly where her priorities are. You can't sell yourself as the face of the league if you're dodging games that fans bought tickets to see. The optics get worse when you remember she magically returned to the lineup only when her grandmother showed up in the stands. Funny how the back suddenly healed just in time for a family photo op.
The only reason Angel Reese agreed to play against Washington is because her grandmother was in attendance, and it was the first time grandma would see her granddaughter clap back at the haters in the WNBA dump.
The irony couldn't be louder if it were broadcast on a megaphone. Reese shows up for sneaker launches, photo ops, and family appearances, but not for her struggling team fighting through a brutal season. That disconnect between branding moves and basketball effort is why fans keep circling back to the same conclusion. Angel Reese seems more committed to her image than to helping rescue the Chicago Sky. And when you stack that next to Caitlin Clark, the difference isn't subtle. It's glaring.
What is the back injury? Everybody's questioning it now, and this will be a third straight season where Angel Reese did not finish playing in games, where she just stopped. She just stopped. Some of these injuries, we saw the injuries. We didn't see what happened. What happened? This is bad.
2 stars, 2 injury situations. But only one is handling it like a professional. That's the thing fans keep repeating when comparing Clark to Reese. Both are supposed to be the faces of the WNBA. Both have dealt with bumps and bruises. Yet the approaches couldn't be more opposite. Clark's team always provides updates. Fans know exactly what she's dealing with, how her recovery is going, and when she might be back. The transparency earns trust, even when the news isn't great. Reese, on the other hand, has been parked on the day-to-day list for weeks with zero explanation. One player makes herself available and accountable, the other vanishes into silence.
What they do not understand is that coaches, and I know the WNBA in some regards isn't a real sports league, and I don't know if they think like real coaches and real people in sports, but the number one ability is availability. If you're not available, you have no value.
And here's what really stands out. Even while fighting through her own aches, Caitlin Clark still finds ways to show up for her fan base. She'll be courtside, signing autographs, greeting kids, or giving interviews, making it clear that she values the people who keep the league alive. Reese? Fans can't find her on the bench in the arena, or even sitting in the stands with teammates. The only time she turned up in Indiana was for a Reebok promo, not for a Sky vs. Fever game. That's the kind of thing that drives fans crazy. Meanwhile, the results speak volumes. The Fever and Sky have faced off multiple times this year, and Indiana has walked away with the win 4 times. That's not a rivalry, that's domination. And every time Reese is missing, it fuels the perception she's avoiding the head-to-head matchup with Caitlin Clark. Fans aren't dumb, they see the pattern. One star is grinding through the season, taking hits, and still competing. The other disappears whenever the spotlight might get uncomfortable.
Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realized your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realized it was done, you threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons in a row.
Perception is everything in sports. Right now, Caitlin Clark is viewed as the dedicated fighter who refuses to quit, even while battered. Reese, on the other hand, is building the reputation of being checked out, disinterested, or worse, someone who quit on her team. And the longer she stays away from games, the faster that image spreads. That's a dangerous place to be because it doesn't just affect her reputation, it drags down the entire league. Ratings are already sliding, and missing stars only make it worse. Fans tune in for marquee names, not for mystery absences. When Reese skips games, the WNBA loses another reason for casual viewers to stay invested.
Folks, yet again, the Indiana Fever face the Chicago Sky, and yet again, we whoop that. Oh boy. 92-70, it was a whole party.
It doesn't help that the media has started to cement a stark narrative. Caitlin Clark's injury is real. Angel Reese's is not. That line has been repeated so often, it's become the default talking point. Whether fair or not, it sticks. Clark is the fighter, Reese is the faker. That's the story that fans hear. And once a narrative like that settles in, it's almost impossible to shake. Fans are connecting the dots. Reese's prolonged absence, the Sky's collapse, the league's ratings dip, all pointing to the same conclusion. Her mysterious injury isn't just hurting Chicago's box scores, it's eroding the trust fans place in the WNBA itself. Every day she stays day-to-day with no answers, the league looks more unserious, like it can't get its stars on the floor or keep its messaging straight. And in a sport where trust and transparency are everything, that's fatal. So here's the big question. Is Angel Reese really hurt, or is she just dodging accountability to protect her brand? Let us know down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.